Welcome back, everyone, and I'm back. This return has been well waited. Because, yeah, as you saw, I kind of hurt in my knee, but also I figured that was kind of a good time to take a rest because, as you're going to see, we were about at halfway point of the year. And things were starting to really move forward great. Let's just zoom a little bit because let's go. So honestly, things starting to move really great, and the week actually that I hurt myself, I figured out something, and I'm pretty sure that now I'm going to be able to kind of not cruise, but if I need to have a 120 average for the session, I should be able to do so. Only thing here is, since I've been off, see those 3 weeks here, those 3 weeks I was off. Actually this week, last week, this one, I kind of went back. I didn't do some speed session. I just started to get back to the gym, just see how my knee feels because it's not completely recovered yet. That's why. We are going team back to training, but the schedule is not going to look what we have planned already. And I've made a few changes for the end of the year because I think we are going to have to push until the very end of the year, December, to be able to reach the goal. Because here's the deal. With those 3 weeks off, I'm going to have to build back up everything slowly to get back to my strength level that I was, 170 and so on. I'm going to talk a little bit about the squat, bench, and deadlift, the work in the gym, because I'm going to do something slightly different. Because I think that the reason why I got injured was because my fatigue level starting to get through the roof. So those 3 weeks off that I took were absolutely necessary because I think that if I had keep going, I could have injured myself even more. So I took that kind of warning. That wasn't that bad of an injury, but it was a good moment to step back and recover. That was important to be able to because the worst thing that could have happened is me pushing and arriving September, October, completely crashing and not being able to reach my goal by the end of the year. Now I feel great. I still need to recover a little bit. That's why I don't want to go all in already. But I think I have kind of recharged my battery enough for me to keep going until the end of the year and crush my goal of 130 miles per hour. So that's kind of the thing. So as I told you, kind of the first 3 weeks here are just going to be getting back to training. Because I don't know how much speed I have lost. I think I should still be able to cruise between 115 and 120, even though I kind of stopped speed training with a speed stick, I stopped working out in the gym and so on. So maybe 115 is already going to be complicated, but I know that by getting back to the training with a speed stick, getting back to the training in the gym and so on, I should be able to easily get to that 117 average, which is even less than the last week where I've trained, where the goal was 118 average and I was able to manage 118.6. That was really insane. It just means that the first quarter here, I went on to go from, I'm a player that is swinging between 105 to 110 to a player that is able to swing easily between 110 and 115. Then this second quarter of training brought me to the level where I'm comfortable now swinging between 115 and 120. I'm now a player that is swinging 115 and between 115 and 120 on the golf course. I'm pretty sure about that. I can, with getting back to training and so on, I can easily pull that off on the golf course. Now this is really where things get hard. And not this is hard, but where the payoff really come. Because my goal was really when I went on to this journey of reaching 130 miles per hour on the club head speed and so on, my goal was mainly to be able to swing comfortably between 120 and 125 on the golf course. And the idea is kind of the 130 is more like, if I can push it to 130, it means I can easily swing between 120 and 125. So that's why I'm going to keep doing what I've done until now to get my average higher and higher and higher. But as we get closer and closer to the end of the year, we will focus more and more on max speed to reach that actual goal of 130 and maybe the cherry on top, 200 miles per hour ball speed. I don't know about that. We'll see if I can pull that off. But at least if I can pull that off, pull 130 miles per hour, that's going to be insane. Anyway, so here, getting back to it. Then during, I believe, August and beginning of September, yes, this is where we are going to get our first 120 average for the session. This is going to be a very big milestone. Then get back a little bit. And here you see I've put 2 weeks kind of deload because this is what I think is, I cannot push too long multiple mesocycle. I think 3 mesocycle in a row is kind of the max I can go. And 1 deload week is not enough for me to recover. I think I need 2. Where I think long term is more like about 6 months, where you do 5 months of consecutive mesocycle and 1 month of completely deload. Because here you can see this is what happened. I got 1 meso, 2 mesocycle, took 1 mesocycle, 2 mesocycle, 3 mesocycle, 4 mesocycle, and 5 the 5th mesocycle. And I think that's why I crashed, because I think my body is kind of, I'm able to handle 4 mesocycle in a row without taking a pretty substantial recovery. And going on, and here actually I did a little 5, then I had a back injury. You see, at the 5th mesocycle, I got my first injury, and then I pushed again for a 6th mesocycle in a row, and I hurt my knee. Even though that was because I did some dumb shit anyway, but things doesn't happen for no reason. And I think that's what I think. So that's why I think moving forward, every 3 mesocycle, I need at least to take a 2 weeks deload. And probably every 6 mesocycle, I need to almost take a full mesocycle of deload. Something like I did, like a 3 week off. But maybe, I don't know, maybe if I, every 3 mesocycle, if I take 2 weeks of deload, like 2 weeks off, maybe that's going to be enough to manage fatigue long term. That's kind of the thing that I've learned. So that's why here, you see 3 mesocycle in a row, boom, 2 weeks deload. I think that's from now on. And then we are going to have another 3, but then it's going to be the end of the year. I'm going to rest and prepare for next year, the next challenge. So that's going to be something else. But yeah, so also on the gym workout side, see, I believe that I'm reaching a point where the weight that I'm handling becomes so heavy that my nervous system cannot handle working on everything at the same time. Bench, deadlift, and squat at the same time. This is way too strenuous for my nervous system. I cannot recover enough to make progress on all the lifts at the same time. Until now, that was fine because the weight wasn't that heavy, but now that started becoming an issue. And we saw that I tried to kind of reduce the volume, trying to make top set and then back off set to kind of compensate. But I think all of that is kind of hiding the fact that I cannot train everything anymore. And that's something in every sport. When you reach a certain level, then there is trade-off. You cannot progress. When you want to progress on something, the level of training volume that you need to progress on that thing becomes so huge that you cannot progress on everything else at once. You need to prioritize things. You need to put things on maintenance level. Like for instance, in golf at the moment, my iron, short game, and putting, I put on maintenance level. I'm not working that much on it or at all to focus exclusively on driving and speed. And in the gym, that's exactly the same thing. Here I reach a point, okay, I've made some good progress on squat, bench, and deadlift. But if I want to really keep that pace of progress, I reach a point where the level of volume and intensity required for me to keep those fast progress that I was used to, I cannot do it on all the lifts at once anymore. That's why here, you see, I kind of put 110 on the bench and 180, kind of where I think my maintenance, that could be a maintenance weight, since my top set was kind of 200 with the deadlift and 120 for the bench. I think I can handle that, especially with the bench. I didn't put 100 because the 110 is like, the bench is less strenuous on the body, so I can get away with a little less, little higher intensity than what I would want. But I'm going to start by focusing on the squat. So getting back to my top level of 170. Then next mesocycle, trying to reach the goal, because the overall goal of my squat is 180. So I think that's the lift I can do the fastest. And next mesocycle, I will start ramping up a little bit the bench and the deadlift without really getting to that top set. Then I'm going to, once I reach the 180 goal, I'm going to ramp up the deadlift and try to reach 220. We'll see about that. I don't know how that's gonna go. Anyway, so that's kind of my thoughts here. So tomorrow we'll get back to training. I think first gym, and so yes, and what I'm going to do is actually focus on 2 workouts per week. Focus exclusively on squat, and then do a kind of bench and deadlift after the squat as accessory, just to maintain things. Just 2 workouts a day, because if you really go hard and heavy, 2 workouts a week, 2 workouts a week is more than enough to make progress on the squat. So, but you need to really go really hard, max intensity. So I'm not going to do backup set. I'm going to go up to my top set and try to do as many reps as I possibly can to that top set and destroy my nervous system. And then same, only 2 speed sessions, because I think also the speed session, doing 3 a week, now that I'm getting faster and faster, my nervous system also get a lot more heat out of each session. And so if I want to be able to kind of produce more and more intensity and recover, to be able to produce more force in the gym and more intensity in speed session, I need more time to recover. So that's going to add 2 full days of recovery, which maybe I will use to actually create content for social media and so on. I don't know, but I will probably do a little bit of putting, chipping, and maybe a few 9 holes every now and then, because those are not very strenuous, and I can actually I think I can do it. And that's going, because golf course you are kind of working, so that's kind of more almost recovery thing you are doing. So I think that's going to be fine. We'll see. But if at some point I think I need those 3 days off, completely off, and do nothing, because I need that to be able to be at my best, I will just do nothing. So that's kind of the thing. If I think I can do some stuff, I will. If I think that start kind of interfering with my progress on the things that actually matter, I will stop. That's kind of how I'm going to manage my fatigue going forward. And I think adding those 2 days off, or at least very low intensity per week, that compared to before, I think is going to help tremendously and avoid crashing like I did a few weeks ago. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.